Hey guys, how you going? I haven't done a video here in like fucking forever. I've been busy, which is probably not an excuse, because if people say you're busy, they're generally just using busy as an excuse. So I'll say that I'm busy, but I probably could have made time for this now. But also at the same time, I've been able to allow time to go on so that I can do more research and do more reading and do more understanding and watching people, how they respond. Today I unfriended someone from Facebook. I haven't done that in a while, since, well, my MLM days, which was about last year sometime, early last year, in 2019 when life and COVID didn't exist, which is kind of random, because, you know, COVID is just another strain of the flu, and we have a flu vaccine for the flu, and yet in Australia we still have over 300,000 cases of the flu per year, and that's the average. So, which you can go on to various sites, you know, the health.gov.au sites, you know, you can go to them sites and find that. You can go to the problem, the reason why I unfriended someone today was because I don't understand, right, and look, I can't stand people who, you make a comment, right, and I'll talk about the comment right now, okay, so that way then you get some context into why I unfriended this person. Now, this person's not a bad person, and it's not like I don't like this person. I just, it's not that I don't like them or I have any hatred towards them or I feel any untowardness to them. He's actually a really good bloke, you know, he's actually a really nice fella, and, you know, I had a lot of time for him, you know, when I first met him, and I got to understand him and understand who he was and where he came from and all that sort of stuff, and I got to know him as a bloke, you know. I played footy with him, you know, he's a good fella. But, you know, and this is where, like, I had a post yesterday about, you know, your friends, your family and your neighbours. Keanu Reeves said it, that those are the people, most people fail at life because of those people. Because of your friends, your family, and your neighbours, because you listen to them. So that's the reason why I move people on, because it's not that I don't like them, it's that I don't need that kind of response or activity going on in my life and in my circle, or my, like, and the thing is, what I said was that having a perfectly great conversation with another individual from Minnesota, you know, and she's a lovely lady. I've met her through network marketing, and she's an amazing human being. She's not in Minnesota now. I'm pretty sure she lives in Florida now, where, you know, I'm certain Florida is mandating masks, and we're talking about the mandates, and we're talking about how, you know, the government's talking about how it's for our own safety. So if it's for your own safety, your safety, my safety, so for your, it becomes, because then it becomes mine, because the word your, so it's your safety now, it becomes my safety, all right? So it becomes for my safety, all right, under the guise of for your own safety, okay? So first of all, the word your becomes mine, because now it's mine, all right? And it's own, so it's ownership, all right? You own it. It's for your own safety, all right? That becomes your onus, okay? It becomes your ownership, okay? If you don't feel like wearing a mask because you don't want to, because you don't feel safe wearing a mask, or any safer wearing a mask than you do not wearing a mask, then you should be able to freely choose that opportunity to say, no, thank you, I'm okay. What I don't understand is if you're wearing a mask and I'm wearing no mask, right? Get this. And this has been said hundreds of times by many different, from even from the fucking left side of the politicians and the media, from the left and the right, okay? This has been said 100 million fucking times. You shouldn't worry about wearing a mask unless you are infected with the COVID, okay? Because if you're wearing the mask to prevent yourself from getting COVID, you are still likely to get COVID. They have said that. Like, I don't understand this. Like, how do people misunderstand that? You know how they misunderstand that? Because they're too busy worried about reading the big red banner and seeing the big red fucking virus depiction on the screen and hearing about the death count and hearing about the death toll and hearing about the case count, right? What happens mathematically, right? I'm not a mathematical person. I can barely count to fucking 100 without making a few mistakes. I really am. Okay, when it comes to numbers, I'm fucking retarded. Okay, most of the stuff that I revolve around is using the calculator, or I ask my very intelligent wife, okay, to deal with it, because I'm not the smartest person when it comes to mathematics in my mind, okay? However, I do understand that if you raise the level of testing from 100,000 people to 200,000 people a day, guess what's going to happen? The case rate is going to go up. That's normal. Also in Australia, it's cold and flu season. Yeah, that's right. It's cold. It's the middle of winter and it's cold and flu season. COVID-19 is just another strain of coronavirus, which already happens in the middle of fucking July. Do people not understand that? Like, what part of that don't you understand? Now, I'll get back to the point of the what I said. I said that the government, under the guise of your own safety, they say it's for your own safety, but yet they've told you you don't need to wear a mask unless you're infected. But now they're mandating across certain parts of the world. America, they're mandating it in Australia, which is unconstitutional, by the way, and it is not a law because it hasn't been passed through the three parts of Parliament. It hasn't been passed as a legislative law. It's not law. You can't be fined unless you accept the fine. Okay? That's absolutely 100% true. People don't understand how the system works because they're not taught how the system works anymore. I emailed Alan Jones last night because I heard a story not only 2 days ago about a guy that I know the guy, okay? He works with a friend of mine, and he didn't know, and he's only, like 4 or 5 years younger than us. I'm 32 going to 33. He didn't know that Australia has a constitution. He said, no, constitution's only in America. No. Any country governed by a government has a constitution. It's a constitution for the people, by the people, with the best intentions surrounded what's best for the people of the country. Okay? That's where ours is a bit messed up, because we're still under the sovereignty of the fucking United Kingdom, under the Queen. So we fall, our constitution somewhat falls under the sovereignty of the Queen, Her Majesty and whatnot. So our Prime Minister actually has no pull. He's just a spokesperson. Did you know that? Because it comes down to the Governor General who has pull. And if you don't understand what I mean, go and read and learn about Gough Whitlam and what happened there, okay? Because guess how Gough Whitlam got fired as the Prime Minister? It wasn't from the people who elected him, okay? It wasn't from the people who elected the party. He got fired as Prime Minister because the Governor General fired him. If you don't know that, go and do your research. Go and do your study. Go and do some history lessons on your own. Guess what? As big and as bad and as scary as YouTube is, there is heaps of fucking information out there that's been put on there that is absolutely true. Yes, there's heaps of shit on there that's fake, and there's heaps of shit on there that's true. Okay? There really is. Now, my comment regarded to your own safety. The Nazis used that guise. Okay? Hitler and his commanders used that guise on the Jewish people. Okay? We're doing this because it's for your own safety. They said it. They used to use that phrase, for your own safety. What happened to the Jewish people? Was it like 60 million? Or 6 million? I don't know. It was millions. Tens of millions. I can't remember. I've got so much shit going up here from learning that I'm lost. Someone, if you watch this video, help me out. But I know it was millions and millions and millions of people. I know it was a lot of people. A lot of people died under the guise of, it's for your own safety. Do you know why? Because they felt safe. I was reading an article yesterday from the CDR, from PubMed, right? I was reading an article yesterday from PubMed, All right, I've got it here saved on my clipboard. I'll put it in the comments. I'll put it in the description. In 2015, right? 2015. So we're 2020 now. In 2015, there was a study done on cloth masks. Yeah, right? Cloth masks. The ones that people are selling. People that have... Great for them. They found a market. They thought, fuck it, we're going to need people are going to need these. What we'll do is we'll put pretty colours on them, and we'll make United States flags, we'll make Australian flags, we'll make Ned Kelly ones. I'm telling you now, if Ned Kelly was here today, he would fucking tell you to shove that up your ass. All right? He really would. Okay? So, you got these people making masks out of cloths and socks and all this sort of stuff, right? The only mask that is absolutely been proven to be somewhat beneficial is the N95. All right? N95. However, the study said this. In conclusion, we found that the person would be at more risk of harm than mitigating any risk. So in 2015, they did a study saying that cloth masks were no good. They're shit. They're terrible. You shouldn't wear them. You shouldn't wear a cloth mask. You shouldn't have this over here like this, because that doesn't work. I can barely fucking breathe. Okay? You can't hear me talk. What I don't understand is this, right? They're asking people to stay home for 6 weeks in Victoria. No, this is true. They're asking people to stay home for 6 weeks in Victoria and wear masks, right? And but if you go to the bank, you got to take the mask off. Like what? The virus doesn't exist in the bank? Because it's for safety, remember? So you got to make sure the bank tellers feel safe with you being in there. But you've got to wear the mask, right? What I don't understand is that this whole time things have just... And what I don't understand is people don't understand this. It's not... If it's for your own safety, that becomes your choice. It becomes your choice as a human being. It becomes your absolute free right to choose what's best for you based on the information that you've received. Okay? Now, if you're not listening to all the information that's being put out there, then you need to go out and research. That you can't put the onus on someone else to do that for you. Okay? Yeah, I put it on a friend's post the other day, like, I try to put anything I find with what I find, okay, just to help it a little bit easier. But you should research everything. Everything. Okay? What I've read, there's a cloth mask is no better, and this is from the Premier of the state of Victoria, said there are lots of innovative ways to make a mask, to wear a mask. You can use a bandana, you can use a handkerchief, you can use a scarf. There's lots of innovative ways, he said, to wear a mask, which are all made of cloth, which in 2015, there was a study done that said cloth masks are no good. So, under the guise of your own safety, the government wants you to wear innovative masks. He wants you to be innovative so that you can adhere to his guideline, which is not a law by any fucking stretch of the meaning. Okay? Because it's a guideline. Okay? It's a guideline. Okay? Meaning he's asking you politely to wear a mask and be innovative about it if you have to be, if you can't afford to buy a 10-pack for $15, which is crazy because I've seen how the masks are made. I really have. The masks are made in a fucking Chinese fucking warehouse, and the cunts are on the floor, sewing them on the floor, and then you want people to wear them. Unbelievable. He wants you to be innovative in wearing a mask, so he doesn't fine you. He's going to fine you for something that isn't law, and if you accept the fine, then you're an idiot. I can't put that any more fucking plain and simple. You are an idiot. If you go out without a mask and the police officer says to you, you're going to get a fine, and you go, okay, I'm going to get a fine. Yes, I accept. That's on you for not understanding how the fucking system works. It's not on anybody else. And that's fucking poor sods to you, okay? Not to anybody else, okay? If I was in Melbourne right now, I wouldn't wear a mask. I'd refuse, flat out. And I guess what I would do? I would tell the police officer, no, I do not consent because I am not breaking any laws. And guess what? He can't do anything about it because even he knows it's not a law. Even he knows that he's just being in the system to do what he has to do to keep his job. See, that's the problem with half the fucking issue, is these people are only doing what they're told to do because they're a fear of losing their jobs, their livelihoods. There's already millions and millions of Australians out of work, lost businesses. Did you know, since the start of the year, so it's been 7 months now, okay, and we're going to go into 8 months soon, 128 people have died from COVID-19. Okay, I'm going to put from because 99% of those people have had underlying health issues. Okay, someone tried to tell me yesterday that healthy people have been dying. I don't believe it. I don't. I really don't. I fucking do not believe it. Healthy young adults have been dying. I don't believe it. Anyway, right, these people have died. Guess how many men have committed suicide in the last 6 months? 1,200. 1,200 men have killed themselves, and yet we don't blink an eye for that. No one gives a fuck about that. Some of these men could have died because of COVID, because of situations like what we've been putting under, because they don't want to wear a mask. They don't want to have to see their kids suffer. They want to have to see that the thought of their kids suffering over their death is less painful to them mentally than having to go a whole lifetime of watching their kids suffer because of the economic fucking downfall and the situation that we're in because people are too scared to catch a fucking cold because the TV told them to. Some of these men have probably committed suicide because they lost their jobs, their livelihoods, their businesses. And they don't want to have to start all over again because it already took them 15 fucking years and their life savings and remortgaging their house to be able to do it. It's not how I would do it, but that's what some people do to do what they have to do to get what they want out of life, which is building a business that they're absolutely fucking passionate about. Okay? Some of these men have probably killed themselves because of that. Maybe some of these men have killed themselves because they haven't been able to see their kids because they live in another town. And because that town is shut down, they can't go there. They don't feel like they could feel safe enough to drive without being pulled over by a police officer saying, hey, where are you going and what are you doing and what time did you have a fucking shit? People don't understand that. And then people tend to laugh at people and not have a fucking point of view and share it with them. That's why I unfriended him. That's why I unfriended him, because he laughs, and it's not the first time he's just put a laughing face and emoji and found whatever I've said to be humorous because he doesn't agree with me. He laughs because he doesn't agree. That's fine. I disagree. I'm okay with that. Okay? If you can tell me openly and honestly why I should agree with you without you regurgitating what you heard on Sunrise this morning, without you regurgitating what you've heard on the Today Show for the last 6 months, without you regurgitating anything you've heard from Fox, CNN, any of those big fucking players. The statistics are still the same as they were 3 months ago. 98.7% survival rate. That is correct. 99% of people who catch the disease will have none to minor symptoms. None to minor symptoms. Which is just like the flu. $25 million people live in Australia. 25 million. Probably 27 million. 128 deaths. 99% of them had one or more comorbidities, meaning they had another issue as well, meaning they were already dying, meaning that, tomorrow they could have had a heart attack at the drop of a hat and died because they were overweight. They had diabetes, okay? Because they had cardiovascular disease, because that's just how it is. That's life. They chose that. You choose that. You choose to be overweight. You choose it. People say you don't choose that shit. You do. I chose to be overweight. I chose when I was overweight. I was 98 kilos. I chose that. I did nothing with myself. I was sick because I chose to be overweight. I was tired all the time because I chose to be overweight. I chose not to be active anymore. I chose that. That was my decision. Now I keep fit. Now I stay healthy. Now I eat a balanced diet. Now I teach people how to do that because I chose it. We have pudding here, and guess what? I can either choose not to have it or I can choose to have it. I don't feel guilty whether I have it or I don't have it. Some nights I say to my wife, no, I'm good, thank you. That's my choice. I don't have to eat the pudding. I don't have to eat the cake. I don't have to eat the McDonald's. I don't have to eat it. We all have a choice. You see, we get to choose all these other things, but when it's for our own safety, we don't get a choice. We risk shit every day. We risk everything every day. We risk our lives every day. I risk my life by sitting in my car and going to pull out of my fucking driveway on a main road where most people do about 80 k's an hour. Okay? Between 70 and 80 kilometres an hour. It's a 60 zone. There is a motorcycle that goes along here and I would fucking clock him at about 100. The risk is I pull out, I don't see him because he's going too fast, bang, and I smack him. He's dead. Or he's through my windscreen. Or he's through my passenger window. There's a risk in everything that we do. Right? So if we can choose that risk, we can choose to get in a vehicle and drive because it's a choice. Because it's up to us. We own it. We own that choice. Then we should be able to choose whether we wear a mask or not. If you're wearing a mask and I'm not, remember this. If I'm not wearing the mask, I'm at risk of me getting it. All right? And you're at no less a risk of getting it either. Because if you don't have it and you're wearing a mask, you're going to get it. It's not going to stop it. The reason why they tell you to wear a mask and why they told you from the start and they still continue to tell you now, but somehow you don't listen, is that if you have the virus, it slows the spread. Doesn't stop the spread. It slows the spread. Which one are you going to have? Going to be a healthy fucking person driving a vehicle? And this is what I get. You're a healthy human being in your own car and you're driving down the street and you got a fucking mask on. In your car. If that's not buying the fear, I don't know what fucking is. Anyway, that's my video. I'm good to be back. The Patriot is here and he is back. Wear a mask if you want to wear a mask. Go for it. Don't wear a mask if you don't want to wear a mask. But educate yourself. Okay? The guise of safety has always been used. It's been used in the past. It's been used now. The Nazis used it. It's a fact. It is an absolute 100% fact. It's in history. It's even in the pages of the books that you should have read when you were at school, learning about history, learning about the biggest things in the world. This will be one of the biggest things. In 20 years' time, my kids will be learning about coronavirus and how it destroyed the world economically, okay? And it only killed no more than fucking people die from the flu. And God, I hope those kids sit there and go, what the fuck did they do? And then we'll be able to sit back and tell them, hey, no, we went, the first 4 months we went out without a fucking face mask. We were told not to wear one. Yep, we were told this, we were told that. It'll be all there. You can't rewrite it. It's already been said and done. Our kids will look back on history. My kids are going to look back on history and go, fucking hell, they were retarded. What the fuck were they thinking? Don't wear a mask, do wear a mask, don't wear a mask, wear a cloth mask. Hang on a minute, the cloth masks are bad for you, but nobody's telling you this. But people are wearing it anyway and still getting sick because they told you that even if you're a healthy person and you're wearing a mask, you're still going to get sick anyway. The health minister himself said, and I can't quote it, but it's along these lines because I haven't gone back and rewatched it. He said that wearing masks back in like fucking March wouldn't have helped now. Wouldn't have stopped us being in the situation we're in now. But he's telling everybody he's got to wear a fucking mask because it's a law now, apparently. A law. That's not a law. By the way, it's a guideline. Anyway, that's the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, share. We'll be back. I'm going to try and come back next week with another video and see how everyone's going with the COVID-19. And, 128 deaths out of 25 million people isn't so fucking bad. How about Taiwan? Huh? 7, they got the same population as us here in Australia. 7 deaths. I wonder what they did. But yet, they're not a part of the WHO. They're not a part of the WHO. They're not allowed to be because China. Remember that? Because China has disassociated them. They call them a rebel state. But yet they've had 7 deaths out of 25 million people, and yet we're hearing from Dr. Fauci to say, hey, we should copy fucking New York. Yeah, right. Good on you, dickhead. All right, copy New York. Copy this.